Oh, Zach wanted that pitch. I don't blame him. That was right there.
Man, even the umpires don't like the Houston Astros. Whew. What's going on, guys? It's Fuzzy. Welcome back to yet another MLB recap. Thank you all so much for stopping by yet again. If you're brand new to the channel, it's very simple. We post baseball news updates every single day. So if you don't have ESPN or MLB Network, this is the place to be. We have so many stories to talk about today. Zack Greinke not only was getting screwed by the umpires, but later on in the game, he actually started calling his own pitches and saying them out loud to his catcher. One of the craziest clips that I've ever seen. Also, a relief pitcher for the Dodgers. We're going to talk about him first. What are these pitches? I mean, this has to be classified as sorcery. So if you don't remember, Brusdar Graterol was supposed to go to the Boston Red Sox, and it makes me just kind of angry that the Dodgers get everyone. They get Mookie Betts, they get Cody Bellinger. I mean, yesterday, Tony Gonsolin, he improved his ERA to 0 in 2 starts as Justin Turner hits a 3-run home run. I mean, how do they have all of the pieces necessary where they're going to be good for the next decade? Like, I seriously think the Dodgers can win 2, maybe 3 World Series in 10 years. Honestly, that's how good they are. We just saw Tony Gonsolin and Justin Turner and Brusdar Graterol absolutely demolish the San Diego Padres. Again, I want you guys to let me know, who do you think is going to be the powerhouse in that division for the next couple years? Because the Padres, they're young and they're loaded, but the Dodgers, they have a little bit more playoff experience, obviously. Moving on, I got a ton of tweets yesterday saying, yo, am I seeing Ghost Fuzzy? How come Ramon Laureano is playing center field for the A's when he just got suspended? If you guys didn't know, if you get suspended, you can appeal, and while you're appealing, you can actually play. And good thing for the A's, because Ramon had 3 web gems yesterday. And also, shout out to my man Robbie Grossman. He is performing at a high level right now. A .311 batting average with 3 home runs and 8 RBIs. Matt Olson and Matt Chapman have been absolutely raking. And one more note about the Angels game, because the A's played the Angels, is I'm not sold on Griffith Canning. So if you guys are Angels fans, what do you make of him going forward? This next recap really pulled at my heartstrings, because the Diamondbacks, they played the Rockies yesterday, and even though Nolan Arenado smashed 2 home runs, Starling Marte and the D-backs, they got the W. And if you take a look at this home run, when he rounds first base, what does Starling Marte do? He points up to the sky, and that's because his wife did pass away a couple months ago. They were on a hike, and just things happened to where her ankle broke, and I think that kind of just led to a lot of clots, and she passed away. So I'm not trying to kill the mood or anything like that. I just think it's a really awesome moment that he is playing for something that is bigger than baseball. David Peralta also got in on the action with 3 RBIs. Now, unfortunately, one note we do have to make is, because we're talking about the Rockies, we have to talk about Charlie Blackmon. His hitting streak was broken, and he dropped his batting average to .472. I mean, he's a bum. Only .472? Just get out of my face with that. We have one more player entering the 400 batting average chase, DJ LeMahieu. Now, of course, he's always going to rake. I would give someone $1 million if they could strike him out. Like any normal person that is not a professional pitcher, if you could strike out DJ LeMahieu, I would give you $1 million, because it's not going to happen. Now, I would say the biggest key for the Yankees going forward is not Judge. It's not DJ LeMahieu. We know that they're going to rake. It's this man, Clint Frazier, who has been disrespected his entire tenure by the Yankees. He comes up, he rakes, and then he gets sent back down. He doesn't start the 2020 season, and then what does it take for Mike Tauchman and Brett Gardner and Giancarlo Stanton all to have issues? If you're not going to play an elite player, just trade him away. Heck, the Indians, they would love him back. I would love him back. Sticking with the AL East division, we're going to talk about the Rays versus the Red Sox game, because by all means, the Rays, they're not a very powerful team. They're actually 29th in all of baseball in terms of home run percentage. They get the job done with small ball and speed, but they're just not going to leave the yard as often as the Phillies or the Yankees. Well, yesterday they played the Red Sox, and yeah, this happened.
As here's a swing and a fly ball out toward right center field and deep.
Right. And now here is Lau getting into one. And this one he lifts into deep right.
The breaking ball lifted in the air, right field and deep. Pilar going back, Bradley Jr. going back to the bullpen. It's gone!
So at this point, if I'm a Rays fan, I'm thinking to myself, okay, so our pitching, it's going to get better as the season progresses. Our bullpen is pretty good because Nick Anderson is Nick Anderson, one of the most elite closers that I've seen in quite some time. When are they going to call up Wander Franco? I understand that Joey Wendell is good and he's a nice guy, but that home run percentage is going to come into play, and I think that Franco playing at third base just to get used to Major League pitching, that would be the move because he's a super prospect. This guy can rake.
Pitch is something you just don't want to do right out of the chute.
Tim a drive to left field. He waited him out and bring him home. 1-0 Sox. Tim Anderson, a long, fruitful first at bat.
Tim Anderson, who is in line for a big day today, silences the crowd.
Tim Anderson is special. I'm just going to say that right now. I know a lot of White Sox fans are really bummed that they traded Fernando Tatis Jr. in exchange for James Shields. We know that's going to hurt them for quite some time. But having Tim Anderson, that's got to be a pretty nice consolation prize considering this home run. He was a double away from the cycle as well. He had a home run, a triple, and 2 singles as the White Sox get a 7-5 win as Luis Robert and Nomar Mazara lace doubles in the 5th inning to secure it. But I'm telling you, Tim Anderson, he's nothing to scoff at. You guys have been patient long enough. I'm going to go ahead and talk about the Astros game right now. So Maldonado, he sealed the deal with a 3-run home run as Zack Greinke throws 6 1/3 innings with only 1 earned run and 7 Ks. But I'm going to roll the clip right now of him calling out his own pitches because, I mean, you have to stand Zack Greinke. He's probably the only Astros player that we all really like.
He just said second sign after 1. Second sign after 2. I guess he's thinking nobody else can see it or hear it at second base.
Hopefully you guys got a good understanding of what Greinke just did from calling out the umpire to calling out his own pitches. I mean, you just gotta love the guy. The Giants, they used 7 pitchers yesterday, and it seems like that's the trend of all of Major League Baseball in order to save the starting pitcher's stamina, is use openers almost every other day. And it's kind of working.
Of his career. Here's a swing and a long drive deep down the right field line, and this one hooking towards the corner. It is a fair ball.
Juan Soto hit a baseball so far that I'm pretty sure it has not landed yet. He hit it across the Atlantic Ocean and I believe into Europe. I think they had some reports that, you know, a window was broken and it was from a baseball from New York. Yeah, the trajectory definitely was from this home run hit by Juan Soto. He has a couple long balls in the last couple days, both 460 plus feet. Unfortunately though, the Mets, they have guys like Brandon Nimmo, they have Pete Alonso, Michael Conforto, and Dominic Smith. They all combined for 8 RBIs. What's the takeaway from this game? Juan Soto is amazing, but the Nationals overall are underwhelming, and the Mets, they improved to 8-11. I don't know what to make of them. I don't. Never in my life would I thought I would be able to say this out loud. 1, because he's always injured, and 2, he just never really lived up to the hype. Byron Buxton, who is one of the best defenders and one of the fastest humans in the game, has 5 home runs in his last 7 games. This is what we've been expecting all of our lives for Byron Buxton to do, and I'm really happy that it's happening. Again, as an Indians fan, I'm not supposed to be hopeful about the White Sox or the Twins, but I am. I'm a baseball fan first and foremost, and I love what the White Sox are doing with Robert and Moncada and Anderson, and then with the Twins with Byron Buxton and Donaldson, and Miguel Sano hit a home run that still has not landed. I mean, good gracious, the Twins are scary.
And Salvi jumps on a hanging breaking ball and jolts it into deep left center field and into the first. Now. Barnhart gives him a high target, but that's out over the plate. And Salvi drives it into right center field, and that's going to be up against the wall. And Nicky Lopez comes ripping around third base.
So if we rewind back to 2019, Salvador Perez pretty much missed the entire season because he had Tommy John surgery. And if we're talking about the best offensive catchers in the game to start the season, we're talking about JT Realmuto and Salvador Perez. This man has been destroying in his return. He has 3 RBIs and a win over the Reds as Brad Keller throws a flawless 6 innings, but the bullpen does implode immediately. As soon as Keller leaves the game, the Reds, they start to score some runs, so they make it close, but Trevor Rosenthal, he is able to channel his 2015 self. He gets the save, but he might be a trade piece, so look for Rosenthal to be on the move pretty soon. Bo Bichette goes 5 for 5 with the home run. Call him Whoa Bichette. Even Vladimir Guerrero Jr. got in on the action. He finally did not hit a ground ball. That is his biggest issue. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and Launch Angle, they're just not friends to start his career. But somehow, even though you go 5 for 5 with Bichette, you get a home run with Vlad, you lose because the Marlins have Jesus Aguilar and Sierra. Huh.
And Sierra, right center field, gonna fall. A 2 RBI single.
Run, wouldn't it? Here's the pitch. And it's sliced out into right field. That's going to get down to drive in the run. And
There's a 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Oh, wow. It's a Marlins win.
Zach Eflin of the Phillies had a pretty crazy day if we're talking about starting pitching. He goes 6 innings. I would say that's good. He strikes out 10. That's really good. But he also gives up 4 home runs as Chance Sisco of the Orioles and then a few other Orioles players, they go bombs away. And they close the lid on the Phillies, who are actually number 2 in all of baseball in slugging percentage and OPS, I believe. And also, they're up there in home runs, even though they haven't really been playing as many games because they had a few corona scares. That's what happens when you're cheap and have the worst bullpen in the entire league. So expect this going forward. And then the final game from yesterday, we had the Cubs going 12-3 as they dismantle the Indians yet again. They have their best start since 1970. Again, they're 12-3. I mean, if you're a Cubs fan, I think that we can both agree that the umpire was awful yesterday, but no excuses. Kyle Hendricks was anything but that. He tossed 7 innings, only allowed 1 earned run, and then the offense, it's going to be legit the rest of the year. Emil Reyes is really the only Indians player that is really hitting anything right now. Carlos Santana is leading the world in walks, but when you have the Indians pitching staff, you got to give them runs, and the Indians are the worst team in baseball in slugging percentage by over 30 points. Can't do that. All right, guys. Well, thank you all so much for watching. I hope that you did enjoy. Remember to stay safe out there. Just be responsible. And yeah, let's roll this day in MLB history. Thank you guys for all the support. I love you guys.
Breaking ball. Hit off the pitcher. To the third baseman. No play. Base hit. 3,000 for LeBron. It's so typical of the man, Jack. He's knocked down on the pitch before, and then he turns around and hits a line drive off the pitcher that knocked him down.